Gamebreaker TV.
Welcome back to the very first Gamebreaker Leave Hearthstone Tournament held right here on Gamebreaker each and every Monday. It's a 2-week tournament that goes on. If you guys want to participate, you should be sure to check out Gamebreaker.tv as we hold these tournaments often. And the only way to sign up is to be present over there. So if you guys want to ever participate in our very own Gamebreaker League, be sure to check us out. Joining me to help shoutcast our finals of our very first tournament, Jeremy Queck, also known as Squishy.
How's it going, man? Super excited for the finals. We get to see a rematch of these two from the Swiss round, and it's best of 5, so even more games that we get to see.
It is definitely getting awesome here, and it's even a grudge match between IBS and Nekostory here, so we'll have to see see how this goes. Also joining us as well, Kyle Landfear, also known as Sophist.
It's the finals. It's the finals.
It's the finals countdown.
I also am hoping that we get to see some trash talking, because it's where I like to see the passion in the two players.
Get that smack talk going in between players.
You mean the 6 emotes don't cover it?
Yeah,
well
right?
met.
The best smack talk is when the cocky person's like, "Well played," before they've even won the game, and you're like, "You cocky." And then you beat him, and then it's even better. So we have an interesting finals match. It's going to be a best of 5. That's right, 5-hole matches to determine the grand final winner of our very first single elimination tournament. We have IVS on a Shaman deck going up against Nekostory on his Mage. Very, very impressive matchup coming here. We've seen IVS just completely obliterate Blues' Hunter, who was using a secret deck that just didn't work out for him. And Eldorian versus Nekostory, as Neko's firepower was just too much for Eldorian's imps to handle. And coming in here into the finals, it's going to be an exciting match. What do you guys think?
It's good. I like what you did there with the firepower, the fireball.
I wasn't going to say anything.
Like I said, I like the Shaman in this deck. I think mostly because I want the Shaman to win so that they'll buff mages. I think that's my professional opinion.
Squish, what do you think?
I think it's going to be the roller coaster of our life, man. It's going to be all about the draws. And
can I lock myself in? Put my hands up. Here we go.
That's right. That's what's happening. We're going to do it.
Last time I did that, and it was very unexciting, so I'm trying to build my enthusiasm just a little bit. We'll wait until match 2 or 3 to see how this goes, but I think it's going to be exciting. What do you guys think here? Shaman versus Mage. We see a lot of, board ability with the Shaman through their totems. They've got an easy ability of keeping stuff on the board and overwhelming their enemy. We've seen a lot of firepower from Neko, but a lot of single target with his 2 fireballs and his fire blast. He doesn't have much in the way. He has 1 flame strike from what we've seen, a cone of cold, a blizzard, but not a lot of board clear by comparison to some other mage. So where do you think is if IVS can get the ball rolling here with his totems, is he going to have the advantage over Neko, or is Neko going to be able to nuke him down as we've seen in the past match?
I think this kind of matchup actually comes down to the players. It's not neither of these are aggro. I mean, the Shaman is a little bit more aggressive, but both of these decks allow for players to kind of outplay their opponent. There is some board removal in the Mage. But I don't think you're going to see the Shaman really fill up his board, unless he knows he can. And like you said, the totems kind of allow him to do that without losing card advantage. So it's definitely gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a mind game for sure. I think this one more so than aggro versus aggro.
It also really depends on the Shaman's hero power. For like on turn 2, if he has nothing else to play, he could get the Stoneclaw Totem. Good stop to the aggression. Or he could draw a Searing Totem, which is practically useless as a 1/1 in terms of everything else. Or maybe he'll get the spell power +1 Wrath of Air Totem for the +1 damage on a Lightning Bolt or Forked Lightning, something like that. There's some forms of randomness in the Shaman, which is why I think most people stray away from it. But it does make for some interesting matches.
We'll have to see how that goes, but the anticipation is drawing near, and we have a lot of matches to get to, so let's just jump right into it. Get the very first round of our Hearthstone finals going here. Shaman versus Mage. Match 1, here we go.
AE spam. How?
Best cards. Why do they see people have such awesome names for their decks and they're not using those? Why aren't you using your best cards, IVS? They're your best cards.
It's just he doesn't need to show off. These are my best cards, but I'm gonna win with this because I love Lust. That's why. Lusty Lust.
Yes, Lust is the best, not that the heroism stuff, you know.
No pyro, I swear. I like it.
And in we go. The finals of the Gamebreaker Hearthstone League.
Match 1 starting off. Here we go. We're going to see a Fire Elemental, a Forked Lightning, a Feral Spirit, as well as, let's see if we'll dump any of these actually. We see
I think that Fire Elemental's gone.
An early draw over here, though, by Nico, where for his Pyroblast, he's going to get rid of that. Also get rid of his Wildor Elemental and the Azure Drake, only keeping his Sorcerer's Apprentice. Here comes some smack talk, though, before the game even begins. I'm gonna wreck you, nerd.
Wreck him.
Let's see what he gets here in return. Cone of Cold, Fairy Dragon, and a Blizzard. Not a bad start there. Gets a little bit of that control that we were talking about, trying to get into the late game for those later nuke-related items, or cards, rather. Here comes some back smack.
Oh, man. Oh, yeah. There we go. There we go.
Best smack talking of the night right here. This is quality.
That's right.
Fairy Dragon going down as Jaina's first move, passing it over to IVS. He draws a Scarlet Commander, just basically summons a totem and passes on his turn.
And it's the weakest one, unfortunately, of them, in my opinion. The one that's just... that might get pinged? It's gonna get pinged.
There it goes.
Boom goes the dynamite. Yep. I think at this point, well, that's a little better. That will keep itself alive until it trades with something.
Unfortunately, though, here, with the ability to just ping that with the Fire Blast to get rid of that Divine Shield, will it happen? He won't really be able to follow up with much else, but he is going to turn around there and just go ahead and do some direct damage to Thrall. Get this game started with some fast damage.
That's right. That is in my opinion, is the correct play, because now he either deals damage to the Mage's face here and immediately loses it to a ping, or he trades with the Fairy Dragon, which is probably what he's being forced to do, and he's starting to fall behind a little bit early. So
down come the two Feral Spirits, and it looks like as you said, he is going to attack with the Scarlet Commander.
He also had a Rockbiter weapon in hand, but I think after the first game with Blues, he's afraid of getting too low because of the Pyroblast.
Yeah, probably fairly smart at this point.
There goes the Cone of Cold, holding in those taunted Feral Spirits.
Interesting. I guess there's not really going to be too much of a better chance to use that, so.
And that healing totem is going to bring them right back up to full health.
Yes, this is where the healing totem shines. You can't really ping them down now. That healing totem is going to have to be dealt with.
It's unfortunate because if it was any other totem, he could have blizzarded and killed them off. Blizzarded.
Blizzarded, yes. Now they're kind of in for a fight here.
There comes the Rockbiter Totem onto the Healing Totem. He's going to actually kill it on himself to follow up and do some damage to even up the scores and even out the life points.
Oh boy. Alright, let's see if Neeko can get control of this board again. I think maybe a next turn.
With 2 Arcane Missiles and a Blizzard, he's got at least a decent amount of board clear here. He might.
I think he wants to save that Blizzard.
If he's gonna drop he's gonna want to drop that Geomancer before dropping the Arcane Missiles to get an extra missile out of it, but he might not want to sacrifice that plus spell power just yet.
Yeah, I
talk
think
going
he's
on here,
to...
trying to delay the inevitable.
Wasting time.
It's a good strategy to keep your enemy from using their full time to their effectiveness. Just start smack talking them so that they have to type back.
I think what might be the right play is draw some cards, play an Ooze, and pass turn. But that's a lot of damage that he'd be giving up.
Play the Blizzard to hold them in place there. And then follow it up with a Arcane Missiles. Taking down one of those spirits.
That's a good play. I mean, unless he draws a Healing Totem again, which 2 for 2 is going to be not happening here, but has the Earth Elemental. That is a beast for 5 mana.
Looks like he's finally going to turn around and play this Geomancer. But is he going to turn around and use his Fireball for the extra spell damage? Or, actually, he won't be able to. Yes, he will be able to. But he might not.
I think he has to.
How many Flame Strikes do you have? Like 20.
gotta
bluff
the correct
that, response.
Now, see, I'm a little bit concerned here. He keeps playing these Arcane Missiles. If he comes out, he really kind of wanted to play that Geomancer. He could have gotten an extra missile out of both of those Arcane Missiles, and if he uses his Fireball here, he'll also be losing out on the additional damage that comes out of it. He could get rid of that Elemental right now if he just plays the Geomancer first, like it looks like he's about to do, and then follows it up with the Fireball onto the Earth Elemental.
Yeah, he should have played.
Time.
He should have played the Geomancer first to get the extra missile, which possibly could have killed anything on the board. They're all at 1 health.
Mm-hmm.
That's the downside, though. By getting that extra damage out of there, you needed to soak that extra missile because Thrall just kind of turned around and said, no Geomancer for you.
This is going to get ugly if he can't get rid of these minions, and he draws his Bloodlust.
They each have one of them in their deck. Well, Thrall has 1 Bloodlust in his deck, so he's fishing for that. Neeko can get any one of Kona Cold, Blizzard, or Flame Strike. He has a bunch of options to actually get here.
Well, we've already seen 1 Blizzard go out from Neeko this round. Looks like he's going to turn around and ping. Those taunts just sitting with 1 health. Let's hope that...
Things starting to look grim.
Let's hope IBS doesn't draw a Healing Stream Totem, because that's gonna make his day just awful. And here comes the Healing Stream!
There it is. Found it. Yeah, I think... I'm not sure I would have played the 1/1. I think I would have just been content with what's on the board, knowing that I could draw a Bloodlust and kill him regardless. Whereas you put that 1/1 down, you're now, if he draws a Flame Strike, you've lost a good amount of cards.
Doesn't draw into it again, which is unfortunate. He's going to have to do some cleanup here very shortly, or else he's going to fall way behind.
Looks like he's going to try and do what he can, laying down his Mana Worm, but with no spells to buff it up, it's just basically down there to try and eat some damage. Maybe goad IBS into... It looks like Thrall's magic will tear Jaina apart.
Very good Fork Lightning there. clears the board again. It's not looking so good here.
Uh-oh. This might be... Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
He's going for the face. Oh, it's all totems on the board.
There's the
that's
Bloodlust
goodbye.
card right there. He's gonna be able to turn it around.
That's what happens.
Conceding before the match even is over. With a quick win there by IBS. Nico not really pulling out any of the board clear that we saw, and the Flame Strike, as you said, Squishy, in his match against Eldorian was just so key in controlling that Warlock by having that amazing amount of board clear from that card. Didn't pull it once. Pulled it in every single match that he played against Eldorian. Did not have the luck to find it this time around against IBS, which, as you saw there towards the end of the match, things just started to get out of control, and he had nothing to really answer it.
Right.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's kind of a card you don't see played a lot in higher ranked, but we're starting to see why it might actually be a legit answer. This deck seems to deal with aggression fairly well, and then that board clear late game. Unfortunately for him, he got out to a good start, and Ives was able to, get board control, maintain board control, and just overwhelm until he found one of his answers. One of his answers being Bloodlust or Ragnaros late game. Ragnaros, which we haven't seen late game yet, is still another very good answer to finish a game out. So, I mean, it worked exactly how he wanted it to.
Yeah, I'm not sure if he really wanted to only have one Flame Strike. It seems like his deck is built around either early aggression, which only worked once, but more so in the late game. And he needs to survive there. I mean, Flame Strike's been working out well, but it's inconsistent by only having one in your deck. I think he may need to make a decision if he wants to add a second in the future, but, it's happened once, and the other three he did draw it, so we'll have to see in the future.
Adjustments here. We always talk about adjustments that can be made. Obviously, there is no deck swapping. They've got to use the same decks. But in terms of strategy, what can Nico try and do to adjust for IBS's deck? Just hope to God he draws the Flame Strike?
Not necessarily. I think a little bit more emphasis on board control as opposed to damage straight to the face. I think this Shaman deck is kind of built on being able to control that. So just making sure, like Squishy had mentioned before, making sure that you're going to get to that late game. Making sure that he can't do too much damage to you early, making sure that he's not going to be able to fill his board up and Bloodlust. That Flame Strike, yes, very important part of that. Also, the Kona Colts and the Blizzards. But as we've seen, he has some minions, and making favorable trades, utilizing his hero power, will be a very good way for him to kind of keep in the game until he's able to Pyroblast and get that end game reach at the end to win.
All right, well, we'll have the second match in the finals, the best of 5 series. First match going to IBS on his Shaman, but it's far from over yet, so be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after a word from our sponsors.
Are you looking for a great book to read, but just too on the go to sit down and read one? Then you should check out Audible.com. With hundreds of audiobooks available right now for download, have your favorite stories presented to you instead of reading a 300-page novel. With a plethora of video game-related topics to choose from, there's just about something for everyone, like the new Dawn of the Aspects book for World of Warcraft. If you head on over to audible.com/Gamebreaker, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial, and you'll even receive a free audiobook to get started right now. We're super happy to have Audible.com sponsoring these Hearthstone tournaments, and by supporting them, you help ensure that we're able to do more. So if you're looking for great audiobooks to listen to on the go, head on over to audible.com/Gamebreaker and start listening today.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Gamebreaker League. We are in the second match for the finals of our very first tournament that we hold here, our bi-weekly tournament, and things are looking pretty good. Joining me, as they have been all evening, Jeremy, as well as Kyle, Squishy, and Sophist. Guys,
That's right.
we've seen some wonderful playing here by IBS and Nico. IBS has the lead only by 1. Nico's not out of the game yet. We've seen some great plays by Nico in his match against Eldorian. What are you guys excited for here for match number 2?
Something like you mentioned before, these adjustments. I really want to see how they change their gameplay based on what they've now seen the other person's deck and how it plays. I like to see how they change their style between games, and I think this has the potential to go to 5 games, so I'm really excited. I hope it's close. And the Smack Talk.
The epic Smack Talk.
I think one thing that Nico might learn is that I don't believe that the Shaman deck has any AoE removal other than Forked Lightning. Meaning if he can fill up the board on his side, Thrall has no way to clear it, really, other than Forked Lightning and good trades. So maybe that's one way to do it, be a sort of aggressor, and then finish him off with the Pyroblast, but I think definitely we'll have to see if he can draw the AoEs.
All right, well, you know what? Let's just jump right into it and see how this match goes. We've been talking about it. We've been speculating about it. Here goes the second match of the finals for the Hearthstone Gamebreaker League. Let's jump right into it and get started. Once again, I'm just telling you, no pyro, I swear. I
like
believe
the
you.
DMV,
I believe you,
please
bro.
wait.
I believe you have no pyro.
The DMV, it's this is Please Wait deck. I like that. I might use that. Oh man. I believe I saw some of the Smack Talk. I think someone had murdered someone else's father, and he's here to take revenge. I'm not sure. I think that's what I saw. This is some serious emotions riding on this match.
Just waiting on Nico to
Waiting for
accept the duel.
here.
And there we go.
There we go. Now we're mentally preparing.
They had to brush up on their Smack Talk lingo, I'm sure. That's what's going to happen here.
That's the adjustments I'm really looking forward to. Yes.
Starting off here with Forked Lightning, Defender of the Arena, which are both going to be dropped. Oh, looks like he's going to keep the Forked Lightning, drop the Argent Commander. No, keep the Defender of Argus, just faking me out left and right. Drawing a Fairy Dragon, and it looks like a Spirit Wolf. I did not actually catch that last card here. But over on the Mage side of things, we get a Sorcerer's Printer, Mirror Image, and Polymorph. Now, the Mirror Images and the Polymorph, these are going to be cards that allow him to kind of last. At least that Mirror Image is going to allow him to continue. It looks like he's not going to play it yet, maybe. There goes the Mirror Image. Oh, maybe not.
Oh, play it.
There it is.
That Polymorph would have been good for that Earth Elemental last game. It took a lot of resources for him to kill it.
Yeah, I think this Forked Lightning was something he missed that last game. He got rid of it in the first game, and there was a point in time where there were 2 minions that got some serious damage off on him that he could have probably used it. Given he won the match anyways, so maybe he doesn't miss it that much, but I think that's why he kind of is opting to stick with this, what little AoE removal he has. That Fairy Dragon also very tough for mages to deal with. The hero power can't touch it. They can't hit it with direct damage spells. So it just sits there and picks things off and takes things out, or dealing damage right to the face.
Now he does put down the Sorcerer's Apprentice so that he can go after it at the cost of giving up his Sorcerer's Apprentice, which isn't going to matter because that Forked Lightning is going to take it down. Now, that might not be the best move. You guys talked about how Forked Lightning is going to be the only thing that's going to allow IBS to clear. He's making an early gamble here to try and keep the board clear early on. And it appears that there is not necessarily much in the way that Nico has to answer with.
Just gonna beat each other with the Fairy Dragons. That's where this is going. It's a race, fellas. We have a race.
Fairy Dragon duel to the death.
I think the Mage wins in a race here, just because of the nature of the kit, but there goes that race. That is now over.
Oh.
Short-lived.
Sacrificing fairy for fairy.
Ouch.
And drawing another, we got a mirror image, but here the Spirit Wolves are going to have the advantage here on the mirror images taunt because those wolves play into my blizzard. Let's see how he's going to kind of respond with this. I'm not 100% sure just based on looking. He's got a Cone of Cold, he's got a Fireball, Polymorph, as well as a Spellbreaker, and a Mirror Images. So it looks like he might pull out... What do you guys think here? What's the best move here on Nico's end, based on what he's got in his hand?
He's kind of in a tough spot here. Last time we saw, he went with the Cone of Cold to get him down to 2 damage apiece. And it was immediately responded to with the Healing Stream Totem, and kind of negated. It was basically a time walk, meaning he had to. I mean, nothing happened. It was just another turn had passed. Now it's the same turn with more mana. So oddly enough, maybe in this situation, Cone of Cold, ping one of the wolves is where you have to be.
I really want to see Spellbreaker here and then into Mirror Images because he needs board presence. Even though the silence is effectively wasted, he needs board presence right now. And then the Mirror Images, other than removal, will cover that Spellbreaker from dying. But Cone of Cold is a valid option, though it's not going to do anything, and I think he needs to save that for the aggression later. Or when he has Spell Power.
That's definitely another route you could go. I agree. I agree. He's
spell
kind of in a tough spot.
We haven't seen a lot of spell power moves though from Nico. He's usually played his cards prior to gaining any sort of extra spell power. It looks like he's gonna go with the Cone of Cold here onto the Spirit Wolves, holding them in place and then turning around to ping one of them, getting it into execute range for the next round.
Yeah, he was kind of in a tough spot there. There's not much you can do with the cards that he had at his disposal. Let's see if he's greeted with the same. No, he's managed to kind of make it through that.
Fortunately, that wasn't a healing totem. Otherwise, he would have been all that extra damage, and that to get that one Spirit Wolf down to an execute range would have been for naught. He's able to turn around and take his Fire Blast, and maybe he's gonna hold off. Throw out his taunts, his mirror images.
Yeah.
Then follow it up.
Yeah.
That's a lot of wasted mana.
Yeah, 3 mana on the board, but
sometimes sometimes the right play is leaving up that much mana. I'm not sure. Again, he's still in a tough spot. The Shaman just keeps drawing. He's got a handful of cards, a lot of options. It's just going to get uglier from here. He's looking at this point, I think, for some AoE removal.
I'm gonna pass it back over to Nico.
Seems to be the theme with this Mage deck. He needs that AoE removal.
He has no draws other than the Azir Drake and 1 Arcane Intellect. So he doesn't have the best of it, but he does grab it, but cannot use it this turn, unfortunately.
And that is unfortunate because by having that Azure Drake in the next round, it could have done additional damage to all of the targets while holding them in place. However, most likely this next turn, IBS is going to respond by taking out that, not only the mirror image that remains, but also the Drake.
Yikes.
Now, it looks like Nico's best bet here is going to be to ping for that Divine Shield with his hero power and then follow up with the Blizzard, but it's still not, I don't believe it's going to finish off all of the cards on the field, if I'm not mistaken.
It is not. But combined with the Cone of Cold, it will.
I think the right play here. Oh my, I don't even know.
The right play is definitely to ping that card first. Before doing anything, you want to get rid of that Divine Shield. And then he's going to play the Blizzard, which is going to then show basically only three monsters left on the field with 1 health each. However, none of them are going to be able to move for an entire turn, so he's going to be able to respond with that Cone of Cold next turn.
Yeah, the unfortunate thing again is he's He's in major trouble. Well, number one, with that weapon. That hurts. Also... Oh, he's gonna clear the board, but I'm not sure he lives past this turn. This is quite unfortunate.
With 4 damage a turn, he's down to 2 turns left, minus any minions on the field, meaning he has to clear the board, which is doable by a Cone of Cold, and then he has 2 turns to finish off the game, which is going to be very, very difficult.
There comes the Cone of Cold. It looks like he's considering following it up with that arcane missiles. Looks like he
has to.
He may have had to there.
I mean, he was looking grim, but I think he had to there, just to have any chance of survival.
IVS following up, and it looks like it might only last one more turn here. Let's see what card Neeko can draw to try and stay in this here. A Cobalt Geomancer. It's going to get an extra missile, at least, out of his arcane missiles. The downside here is now he's got to deal with the random chance of it going onto that spell power totem.
I think he's as good as dead.
There's no way he comes out of this game. That is a good game. He's taking, if it was an ooze, which
he has one.
He only runs one of. So if he had drawn the ooze, he had a chance. At this point, it's he's sleeping with the fishes.
He's trying to figure out any way to make it out of this, but
just get as much as possible. Throw down those arcane missiles. Also throw down the Pyroblast as well as the Fire Blast, but it's just going to turn it over right there. Back to IVS, who's ready with his Rockbiter weapon, as well as his Flame Tongue. Just going to drop all his cards just for posterity. Just say, you know what, I can deal with you, it doesn't matter.
Alakir making his first appearance, just to get the killing blow.
Yes.
Gotta prove that you got that high-level card.
I'm actually not a fan of, especially in tournaments, showing all your cards. I know they can kind of check out the stream. On the off chance that your opponent's not watching the stream, I think maybe you just kind of hold back. And if they haven't seen them so far, don't show them, because you might be able to catch them by surprise later.
So now we're sitting here, match 2, once again going to IVS. IVS is 2-0 in the home stretch. All it's going to take is one more win for IVS to take home the championship of the first Gamebreaker Hearthstone League. Neeko has been having a little bit of trouble pulling those. Again, we didn't see the Flame Strike. His signature card that really kept him in the match against Eldorian has not surfaced, and we're seeing the repercussions of it. He's drawn, I believe, the Pyroblast at least in both tournaments, if not just the last one. And I think that that's really hurting him here. He just doesn't have the board clear to deal with the Shaman, and that's one of the biggest strengths the Mage has, but just looking at what Neeko's deck offers, it doesn't really bring a lot of board clear.
Yeah, I think it is, again, it's sort of an aggro-y deck. It's not as fast as the Warlock, but he needs to be looking at it that way. It's kind of unfortunate. It deals with the Mage a little better than the Warlock does. The Warlock kind of is the same against just about any deck. It just kind of throws all it has at you, and that should usually be enough. Kind of unlucky with some of those draws. I mean, some of the stuff that came out against him from the Shaman were just really hard for him to deal with. He just didn't have answers. I mean, his answers that he had were playing 2 or 3 cards in combination with each other in order to deal with like 1 or 2 cards that the Shaman threw out. So I think he just needs to get a better start. If he can get a better start and kind of hang in there, you saw the burst damage that a Mage can do. You saw how much damage he could throw out there in one turn with that Geomancer and the Fireball. It's just survive. It's the same mindset as the Warlock, I guess, at this point, and it's just survive.
I think with this current deck, he needs to have some kind of answer for the massive amount of things that he's putting on the board. Pharaoh Spirits proves to be an issue for him, because I don't think he runs Frostbolt, which means he doesn't have that 3 damage removal, and Cone of Cold won't cut it for them, especially when, as we saw in the first game with the Healing Totem. Though in that game, I think what really hurt him was the weird fairy dragons punching the face for 3 turns and then suddenly trading. I'm not sure what that was about. Maybe it was something to do with the trash talking, but that was really awkward.
Who's got the better fairy dragon, bro?
I don't want to see fairy dragons brawl. That's not very fun.
Yeah, it's the fairy dragon trading was a little bit interesting. It was I actually haven't seen that before. I've never seen fairy dragons or anything for that matter. Just they could trade, we get the board control, but let's just keep punching each other. This is fun. It was fun. It was interesting. But I think it does play right into the Shaman's hands. So if that happens again, I think he's going to want to just keep damage off of himself until he can get that final Pyroblast Mage burst damage out there.
All right, well, we have the third match. Hopefully not the final. Hopefully this isn't a shutout, and Nico is able to do a massive turnaround. Come on, heart of the cards. Nico, we believe in you. Just draw that flame strike, and you'll be good. We promise. Be sure to stay tuned here for the third match coming up real quick, but before we get to that, a word from our sponsors.
We'll be right back with Hearthstone Tournament action, but first, I want to tell you guys about Shutterstock.com. Shutterstock is a must-have tool for anyone in the creative industry. With over 20 million high-quality stock photos, illustrations, vectors, and video clips, Shutterstock helps you take your creative projects to the next level. Injecting your website with some instant credibility is easy to do when using Shutterstock. Whether you need still photography, stock footage, or even art assets for a website or YouTube channel, Shutterstock.com is the place to be. If you guys don't believe us, I promise the creative industry uses Shutterstock all of the time. Just this last weekend, if you go and see Marvel's new comic book movie, Thor: The Dark World, and stay until the end to catch the teaser, be sure to keep an eye out at the bottom of the credits. Right there at the bottom, you'll see that even Marvel ended up using Shutterstock. Shutterstock is a great tool used all over popular media, and is a great resource to have in any content creator's Swiss Army knife. You can try Shutterstock today without using a credit card by signing up for a free account, and you can save all of your favorite images to a lightbox to review them later. Once you're ready to purchase, if you use the offer code GAMEBREAKER1213, you'll receive 25% off your new account.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the Gamebreaker League. We are in the third match of our finals for our very first tournament that we hold here on Gamebreaker TV. And if you guys have not checked out the earlier matches, which I'm not sure if you have, if you're this far in the video, or if you're just tuning in live, you should definitely check out the earlier matches, because it has been just a wonderful, wonderful display of amazingness. Almost one-sided, but Nico not out of it yet. So 2-0, IBS has the lead. However, anything could happen here, as we just kind of talked about, with Nico being able to pull some flame strikes out, which he has not been able to do, and that's what really led him here to the finals against Eldorian. Joining me like they have been all night long, we have Jeremy Queck, also known as Squishy, as well as Kyle Landfear, also known as Sophist. Thank you guys so much.
We gotta get there.
I am. It's tongue-tied. Thank you guys so much for joining me here tonight. It's been an interesting duel, to say the least. We're on the third match. Shaman versus Mage. We've just seen incredible control from IBS. You know, even since we started in the semifinals, he had such great control over Blues. Blues was really able to only get his win because he was drawing the right secrets at the right time. IBS has just kind of had control of this whole entire tournament in the semifinals and the finals. And I don't know. I want to hope for Nico. We saw some great burst from Nico in the semifinal match as well. But I don't know. My heart is telling me IBS might take this one here.
Yeah, I think looking at the deck list, like I've said from kind of the beginning here, is that it looks to be the most consistent deck out there. So, I mean, a good draw will win things for people playing against him. However, I think we're gonna at least see one victory here from Nico. I think he's played too well in this tournament, and he's gonna get some good draws at some point. And who knows? I mean, we saw Ives himself turn around after losing game 1 against Blues. So we may see a turnaround. I think it can definitely happen, and I think they're both too good to kind of just get shut out in the finals here.
Well, going 2-0 in the Swiss round against Nico, and then 2-0 now. He's definitely on a streak here, and Nico has one last chance to break it, or else he's going 5-0, and he's not going to get that revenge he so desperately wanted.
Well, I still think it's anyone's game here. I think that Nico can definitely pull it back. He's just going to have to either get extremely lucky with that Flame Strike or maybe even try a little bit of a different strategy here. But it's still anyone's game. So let's just jump right into it. Let's get to our third match of the finals of our very first tournament. Here we go. Match number 3.
It's because he didn't bring the best cards with him. That's what happened.
That's true. You got to bring those best cards. I'm just saying.
He really likes the priest as well. No, this is Ives, so maybe the best cards weren't needed. You're right.
Just waiting for our duelists to prepare.
And away we go. Nico needs a win here, or else he's going to be shed on a 3-0 match.
Public humiliation. All right, Here we go. IBS drawing. Ragnaros the Fire Lord, Fire Elemental, Argent Commander, and Forked Lightning. Oh, let's see him keep that. Oh, I was hoping he would keep the Ragnaros. IBS, you've won 2 in a row. You can spare the extra card. Just keep it. Looking over here real quick at Nico's. It looks like he's got Arcane Missiles, Cone of Cold, and Mirror Images, as well as drawing a Polymorph. He's going to be able to throw those Mirror Images down on the first turn. I don't know about you guys. I don't like throwing down my Mirror Images on turn 1. I almost feel like it's better to wait till turn 2 to,
Number one reason that you don't do that is the immediate... Oh! I thought we'd see Forked Lightning.
I think it's a waste on a bunch of Mirror Images, personally.
Yeah, you're probably right.
I don't see a reason for it.
Especially
when he has that.
Being drawn for IVS there, dropping a Cleric. And it looks like he's going to turn around and do damage to one of those Mirror Images. Prepping the board.
Good use of the Shadow Sun Cleric there. He's getting good value out of that 1-drop early on.
Puts him out of ping range as well, which is interesting.
I'm surprised he didn't Arcane Missiles first and hope one hit and then finish it off with a ping. That seems kind of weird to me. Because now he's well behind.
This isn't good. This is not the start that Nico wanted here. He's gonna have to Cone of Cold here just to keep pressure on himself.
I would Arcane Missiles first, hope one hits.
There he goes with the Arcane Missiles. He gets enough. Nothing's that's gonna be able to put them down for good, but it is gonna freeze 2 of them.
Yeah, I still at this point am very worried. He's already has the Bloodlust in his hand, so it looks like we're gonna have to see. We're gonna have to see another Cone of Cold.
Here's the other problem. He's got he actually goes up with follows with the Blizzard, which clears the board, except for the one Spirit Wolf and the occasional Facebook message.
Looking up strategies online or something.
So he is he's hanging in there. I don't know if he's gonna be. Oh, he has the. There you go. That's not what you called in that first game. That polymorph for the Earth Elemental. Still behind. But he's getting to the point where if he can keep himself from getting hurt too bad, that Bloodlust isn't going to actually win the game. He might be able to do it himself.
That's going to give him really a good time to catch up. Even though he's done a card advantage, I think the Shaman has to pay Overload 3 for the Earth Elemental, which means that he can only use 4 mana this turn. And he managed to clear the board.
Earthshock's going to turn around, as well as the weapon there is going to finish off the Mana Worm that was on the board here.
That's unfortunate.
Here comes the Pyroblast, though, and the Azure Drake, and the Flame Strike. Here's what we needed to see.
Found it.
He's got a good amount of spells here. Nothing to throw on the board if that Azure Drake goes down, but his spells will be stronger now because that Azure Drake has the spell power available. It actually looks like he's going to turn around and get rid of the Azure Drake just like that, putting a lot of pressure here to draw a card, a charge, and a Divine Shield. That's exactly what it needed to see, at least to get something down there on the board.
Yeah, that is... sadly, that's what the Argent Commanders turn into. They turn into Argent Commander trades with Argent Commander trades with Argent Commander.
But down goes the Alakir.
Then kills. And again, here, not looking too good here. That 3/5, he doesn't have an effective way to kill it, other than just freezing it for the turn with Kona Cold. He doesn't have that great cards here, but he needs the board control.
Depending on how many polymorphs he has on his deck, we know he's already used one. I'm not sure if he has a second one in there. Freezing to maybe hope for another polymorph to get rid of that Alakir is the best. Otherwise, he's going to have to waste a Pyroblast or a Flame Strike on it because he just doesn't have the minions to take it down.
He does not have a second Pyro.
He does not have a second polymorph.
Oh, yeah, sorry.
Unfortunately, here it's going to be Kona Cold Ping, yeah, and then pass turn and hope that he can deal. Maybe a Frostbolt next turn will be able to take care of him.
Just throwing down a totem for a taunt.
Gets the Stone Claw, not what he wanted to see probably, but again, the Argent Commander comes out.
Bypasses the Sorcerer completely.
Actually, another smart play there.
Now here's what he's going to have to do. He's going to have to ping, most likely, one with his Hero Power, one with the Sorcerer to the Divine Shield, and then follow up with the Flame Strike. Otherwise, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. And it looks like that's exactly what he's going to do.
Oh,
did he just Flame Strike?
Okay, that works too. Or, interesting to leave the... I think at this point he does realize he needs to put some damage up.
But the response to the Fork Lightning... having 2 minions out on the board when the Shaman hasn't played two Fork Lightnings is definitely a big mistake. You never want to have that.
Followed up by two more Spirit Wolves. This is not looking good for Nico at this point. Mana Worm is not what he wants to draw here.
And that's going to be game, because one of those cards left in Ive's hand is Bloodlust. And I think that's... Oh, and now drawing the Flame Tongue Totem.
Why not? I mean...
Well...
Final match, this could be it. We will see.
13. That should be exactly lethal, I think.
Bloodlust.
It is lethal. And this means that IVS has taken the very first Gamebreaker Nation League.
IVS pulling it out in the finals, going 3-for-0. Someone from SK Telecom call up and recruit IVS because he just swept the floor.
That is insane.
Is that a league joke?
That was a league joke. Sorry, misplaced. Very impressive tournament there, though. I've got to say that was exciting to see how IVS managed to just take control with his Shaman deck and really shut out Nico. He finally got that Flame Strike that he needed, but I think it was just a turn or two too late. He was too far down in health to really be able to come back from that one.
Yeah, I want to point out to you guys the amount of domination that Ives had in this tournament. He only lost one game the entire tournament. He 2-0'd and then 3-0'd 2-0'd every round and then 3-0'd the finals, except for his one match against the Hunter Secrets deck, which is insane. That is crazy, because these people were playing. They played very well. They were really good games of Hearthstone here, and my hat goes off to Ives because that was really, really impressive, and there were some good decks and good players in this tournament.
Yeah, the Shaman played by IVS was brilliant. I mean, the meta is currently in the aggro phase, with lots of Warlock aggro, some Mage aggro, and Druid occasionally popping up, but the Shaman, with the Overload mechanic, being able to play larger things earlier, definitely counters what the aggro deck is for, and makes it a very good mid-game deck against Warlocks and stuff like that.
And I think from what we
Yeah,
saw,
I think he did a really good job of understanding that meta coming into this tournament. Like I said, previous tournaments had really just been like Warlock aggro, Warlock aggro, Warlock aggro, maybe some occasional other aggro things like Squishy just said. And he kind of went and said, you know, what's going to beat that? A good mid game deck, something that can easily deal with aggressive decks by either spot on removal or trading favorably with them with the overload mechanic as Squishy just mentioned. And then being able to just keep filling your board up and get through with that Bloodlust and Ragnaros, and being able to put together a very consistent deck, as well as being able to play the deck well, shows you how far that actually goes into winning a tournament like this. And he read the metagame very well and came out and played very well.
I've got to say, I think that probably one of the best things that I saw out of IBS in almost every single one of his matches, even against Nico. Nico was dropping the mirror images, which are the 0/2 taunt cards. But to answer, IBS had his Spirit Wolves, which were I believe they're a 3/2. But having that double drop taunt card with the additional damage, on top of occasionally drawing a healing stream totem to heal up any minor amount of damage that Nico was able to do with his hero power, was really what gave him a strong advantage, because we just saw those. Like I said, I think we saw those Spirit Wolves almost every match, if not once, but twice.
The thing is, with the current meta as well, Spirit Wolves seem to be really, really good. Back when Hearthstone first came out, people really liked the Enraged Worgen. I can't remember. It was a 3-mana 3/3, and Spirit Wolves were terrible against that because they just hit one, get enraged, and then hit the other one or something like that. But against aggro decks and especially a Mage without Frostbolt, Spirit Wolves are just great, because Nico really had no answer for it most of the time except for Blizzard, and that is really just a waste.
Well, that about wraps up our Gamebreaker Hearthstone League. It was an exciting night, and I can promise you we'll be doing it here again. I'd like to say we'd be starting our quarterfinals next week, so the signups are available. However, we need to work out some technical problems that we actually have right now, so we probably will not be coming back and doing a tournament until 2014, but I promise we will be doing more Hearthstone tournaments out there. So if any of you guys are interested in competing in our Hearthstone League, be sure to keep an eye on Gamebreaker.tv for more opportunities, and as always, we'll see you guys next time. Jeremy Queck, you can follow him right down. Well, I don't have the lower third, but you can follow him at Squishy.
Good work, Chef.
I know, good prep. You can follow him right down. You can follow him at Squishy, as well as Kyle Lanfear. You can follow him at Sophist, the real Sophist, not the fake.
Yeah, the real one, not the fake ones.
The real Sophist. Yeah. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We hope you enjoyed this Hearthstone League. We will see you guys next time.